nobody else really doing this.
I'd be interested to see just to what degree the NYXL can harass the backline of the Reign, but it's actually Edison that goes down first. Flora is able to apply a decent amount of pressure, and in the meantime, Feather, I guess, in contrast, plays very safely towards the back of the pack. The Reign, they come off decidedly second best.
Jonax a little bit later is Yakpung just swinging for the fences there on the middle pole.
Bianca gets caught without healing, though. Looks like he gets burst down. It's Pelican's able to find him. Still, Edison falls again. Feather finds him with a focusing beam map.
And a Moira duplicate here for Feather. So he may get, he's going to get a Coalescence. And then Pelican, without the Winston to duplicate, he's actually going to duplicate the Wrecking Ball. So you'll see a Mines on the point. And it'll be Atlanta, who should be able to flip it off the back of that. Sound Barrier used towards the end for the Atlanta Reign. So they won't have that for the next fight as Pelican players up, and now they start to try and go in with Jonax Coalescence.
Yakpung immediately has to be healed up by the Coalescence there from Jonax, so he doesn't have the opportunity to open with it aggressively, but Gator has already fallen here. And that's Flora, again, getting a ton of value from this Reaper, definitely highlighting the round so far for the NYXL. That should be a pretty comfortable fight win here. Matt, normally we expect these fights to really drag out, they go long with these compositions, but both of these teams
use the same type of concept. This will be Sound Barrier plus Death Blossom used by the Atlanta Reign. They're trying to flip the point.
Yakpung tried to knock Edison away from his teammates during that Death Blossom. Unsuccessful in doing so, and Flora, man, that's an odd one, Matt. That is an odd Death Blossom choice.
Well, you know, you do have the
time until the Sound Barrier comes through. It does come after all, and Edison holds on to the Death Blossom. He saves it for Flora. Revenge serve cold in this particular case, but it's traded out. Feather finds the kill. On the point, that's a self-destruct. Pelican getting value out of the duplicated Diva mech there to create a bit of space, and Gator's there with the Primal Rage. Bianca forced out of mech, won't be able to get back in either. And it's going to be tough for Friday to touch the point at all. The Atlanta Reign play it close in his first round, and it goes about as long as it could have. Played to the door frames, but the NYXL are grouping up here. It's going to be the Winston comp versus the Orisa variant with Pelican on the Doomfist. Yakpung takes an absolute shellacking early in this fight. Very clever repositioning from Pelican there, using the teleporter outside of the way is usually intended, and he's able to snatch up Feather before returning to the point, forcing fade from Jonak. Otherwise, he would have been squished.
And this is where NYXL has struggled.
A hasty retreat here for the Reign as, Jonak tries to turn the fight. It looks like it works. They catch Pelican. Fade had to be used there by Iris, and that's a self-destruct to catch Yakpung, but it's a very messy try and turn around here from the Atlanta Reign. And New York will have the point. Doesn't really want to tangle with the Echo and is forced to pull the plug here. Meteor Strike puts him back into the fight. It's going to be a Death Blossom there from Flora. It's just the one. Edison with one as well. It's Friday to fall now. Bianca getting pressured heavily on the point. Tries to hide behind the self-destruct as he fires it off. And that Coalescence looks pretty darn sad from Bronak, who's going to be forced to play from the vestiges of the point now, Matt.
Yes, NYXL just trying to stall this out a little bit more. Jonak will get on the point. And this will be Atlanta to flip, as it looked like Feather was trying to get on and touch. She had some other players coming back. Does get the pick there onto Iris, so that's pretty big, getting the Moira out of the equation.
Gator down to the Primal Rage of Yakpung, though. He's going to throw a bubble on himself. Pelican dives into the bubble so he can get the duplicate. Flora's forced to Wraith walk away from the Death Blossom, but Yakpung and Friday don't have that kind of luxury. Flora's going to be able to get just to one, and that'll be it. Feather again has to work in from the outside, and Bianca tries to pressure down Iris, but the Biotic Orb already did the work. It heals the Moira back up. Pelican beams Feather down on the outside of the point, and that'll be Bianca down to the sticky bombs. That will do the job. Atlanta Reign, they've got one of their own now. A lot of that gets kinetic grassed up by Hawk, who just plays around that left side corner. Jonak wants to do some damage here, but the Reign have made themselves scarce after getting 99.1%.
They're at 99%. Feather will get both tanks here, which is the saving grace for NYXL potentially, because you have 2 kills returned on the other side, and then Hawk will get a res. So maybe if you're Atlanta, you're able to do something out of this.
Yeah, I mean, Hawk gets rezzed into an off angle, and Pelican replaces Gator now, duplicating this Orisa. Dragon Strike, I don't think that Yakpung was ready for that at all. He turned his back on the Dragon Strike, and he gets punished as a result here. The Reign were ready to play.
Masa with a kill on a Flora goes up to the high ground, takes out the Ashe.
Inside the room. Masa, okay, asks for a little bit too much there. Brings Pelican back into the fight, but gives up his life in exchange. Feather now has a decent little off angle. He's going to copy. Oh, that's a big halt, and yes, And no one from the rain is going to be leaving this room unscathed. Not a chance.
That was really nicely played by Feather even before the duplicate. When we were on board with Masa and he was thinking about doing...
Kai, let the Dragon Strike go there. They don't really combo that with the Gravitic Flux, but Hawk uses the Dragon Strike, positioning how it funnels the NYXL into that right-hand side to try and get some value there, and it works out. Yakupung eventually falls. Bianca was brought back into the fight, but there's no Orisa right now here for the NYXL. Pelican actually playing a pretty safe spot. You don't want a Gravitic Flux out of your Bianca because you're only getting a duplicated Ash. You can just fly away as it becomes Echo once more, Matt. Kai's brought back into the fight, and Friday's down.
Yeah, as NYXL, they're just trying to keep this going. There's not really a great path for them to take this point back. As Feather will take out Pelican. You do have Flora getting some damage in, but can they keep going on this? Bianca will get on, Friday will now get on. I don't think they're going to have enough time for anybody else to get a touch. So that'll be it with 2 minutes and 29.
Gets knocked off course there by the Holt. It makes it hard for him to keep the players under his scrutiny. And that Immortality Field is a perfect time buy for Iris. It's still not enough for the Rain to stay alive though, because Flora gets deep and finds both tanks.
And NYXL, that was beautifully executed. That's what a lot of teams decide to do. You farm up that Coalescence, and then you push in behind it. Is Kai, though, up on the high ground. He'll have a Bob, and he's going to decide to drop it there. You do have Iris here. This would be a crazy turn of events, though, for the Atlanta Rain.
All right, self-destruct goes off there. The shield of Yakupung actually blows up. Back in with now. Hawk is just trying to dip his toe in ever so slightly, but Flora chomping in the bit every time an enemy shows himself. He's there on that Reaper, punishing them. And this is one of the reasons why, Matt, I think, unrelatedly, Dallas is looking like one of the best teams field in a few moments. The Brigitte from Masa. And there's going to be a McCree here for Kai. Defensive pick, trying to deal with this aggression coming at their spawn. Jonak's able to find Masa, though, with the Biotic Orb. And Feather is not going to let them out of the door without a heavy toll. He's in a duplicated Diva. It's all house money that the NYXL are playing with. And my God! Big hit there taken by Flora. Probably a wayward arrow from Kai if I was a guessing man. That's a Holt there. Yeah, easy shots for Kai. So, whichever way you sliced it, it looks like the NYXL struggle on this first point defense, Matt.
Yeah, just it seems like they're just not in sync of when to go.
That corner, Matt. That's the NYXL because they disengage to this part of the map, and it's all to Atlanta Rain's plan. That's where they want them to run to. Kai gonna play in main there. I mean, Yakupung had to use that Fortify or he would have died. He was less than half HP inside the Gravitic Flux. And Pelican drops him anyway. Duplicated Sigma comes up for 2 kills. And that's 1 tick already for the Atlanta Rain. It's a nice Biotic Grenade from Jonak here, and great to see a reprisal of his role on the Ana, but doesn't look nearly as good without any teammates to back him up, man. And this is a disaster for New York.
No, this is brutal as Yakupung will swing his way onto the point. You'll probably have Flora here trying to get a touch, but he gets taken out. This is bad news here for the NYXL. As they have a great offense. Their defense here in OT, and Atlanta's able to finish with time. That is brutal. These advantages. So you're not, Atlanta, you've done your job and taken both points, right? And finished with time. New York had 3 minutes on the clock.
I have a bad feeling.
1:40. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. This could go so badly for the NYXL, Matt. The Dragon Strike gets used on the assumption that the Atlanta Rain are playing in that right side room here from this perspective.
Now you've brought yourself down to 15 seconds on the clock, and you're losing players.
Flora absolutely wilts. Brought back to life by Friday here, but the NYXL are running out of time. It has to be an Immortality Field used on the high ground. They can't even save that for the point. They won't have it up in time for when they actually need to capture. Pelican, steps back and sits on the point. That was
really heavy. This is brutal to go into. As they are not able to get to the point. That's a beautiful. That's a bash by Masa on the Yakupung as he was coming in to prevent him from getting onto the point that last second. Now what do you go to, though, if you're New York? The tough thing is, though, here, Mitch.
Some of them are looking a little worse for wear. And Molten Core is now available here for Kai. And the NYXL are pushed around the corner. They are all forced to play around the ball here, but Pelican takes it by the horns. That's a Death Blossom for 2. Oh, the NYXL, they are in deep, deep trouble.
But this composition for Atlanta plays into the things that New York does.
Molten Core, perfect ultimate if you want to try and get this card across the line. Bianca constantly being singed as he's the one that's been called on to try and keep this card from going across the line. Kai does go down to the self-destruct with Gator. Masa looking very healthy still. Masa repositions here and he's ready to juggle the juggler at this stage. A lot of Inspire procs there as eventually the rain just grind it out. The NY Excelsior get
choices coming in from NY Excelsior.
Death Blossom and Hawk not able to cover up much of that damage there from Flora. He gets desuited, but with a self-destruct, able to get rid of Friday, and this might be about to turn around. Kai pushes forward. It's a rivet to the dome there for Flora as he's sent packing. And this is it, the rain. This is about as rushy as they look. They're still playing together as a death ball, though.
This is one of the tankiest compositions you can build.
Gator protecting the supercharger with his shield, not his team. That's how important that damage amplification is to them right now, and there's nothing, not a thing the NYXL can do about it. Absolutely stumped are they. Here's the Atlanta Rain. Wavering, a little uncertain. Who are they diving? Probably Iris, but there's the coalescence there from Jonak. Iris is going to go for that immortality field. He's barking out orders to the rest of his team, but Yakupong's already been dispatched of. Bianca is now the only one that can access Iris's position, and it's not enough stopping power.
But look at how deep you are. I mean, they're not putting any pressure on the point. So this will be a sound barrier that comes through for New York. You'll probably have Yakupong also end up using his primal during this. Is New York throwing everything at this fight.
Bob there deployed. Flora just wraith walks past him. Teleports to the high ground. Iris is down. No one's capturing the point just yet. It'll be a shield dance briefly for Gator, but he really can't hold up 1v1 against the Reaper. Gets plenty of space. Walker's going to sit on the cart for the time being. Sticky Bombs makes that a little bit harder. Looks like Pelican gets caught, but is able to duplicate into a Diva very quickly. Molten Core can be used, but it's unclear how effective it will be because Fed is causing so many problems, and that remet kill has got to seal the deal, Matt.
Yeah, you just save it. Pelican with a self-destruct there at the end, but you see
here on the side of the Atlanta Rain. So far they get rid of the Torp Turret and the Supercharger. It's a good start, but some bodies need to be hitting the floor in a moment. And that's it. Flora's able to get the Death Blossom on Kai. He's caught sort of looking a little bit awkward. Mid-Molten Core there.
Now you might be able to do this if you're New York. You're going to have the...
Be in trouble. Shield bashed instantly. And here's a sound barrier for the NYXL. That was Pelican's self-destruct, necessitating the Lucio ultimate from New York. That's Flora's Death Blossom, looking pretty darn good there. It's in the name, I suppose. Yakupong and Flora looking to get their team across the line, and they do that. It's a minute to work with for New York. Kai pressured. Yakupong, yeah, short-lived there. Damage boosted, of course, is Kai. And there was plenty of involvement from Gator there with the Hulk. Never going to be easy for the NYXL. They knew that. And Kai, oh my, finds himself 3 and it's back to the sky. Has run its course. Again, Yakupong tries to dive to the high ground, gets hit with a face full of sticky bombs, and now he's looking at himself in the mirror, except it's him, younger, better looking and bigger muscles. You hate to see that. Jonak now going to be juggling into the corner, into oblivion, and now Pelican returns valiantly to the point. And there won't be much more here for the NYXL.
He is legitimately another tank.
Yep.
Like when we have other Echoes that duplicate, you know, they don't have that ability. Like you saw his primal rage there. You know, if you were to distance maybe that biotic grenades,
it's fan service.
He gets taken out by Kai.
It's just fan service at this point, Matt. There's a chance for Friday to bring Jonak back into the fight here. Again, you're not dealing with an enemy Winston, so you probably get some decent value out of the Ana if she's not going to be tested that heavily, but that wasn't proven to be the case. Kai just picks him up across the map. Gator here just studiously plugging away with the fusion driver, and that's going to be it. That is the NYXL. It's an ignoble end for them here in the upper bracket, Matthew, as they, at no stage, really look like they understand how to deal with Atlanta.
Yeah, a bit of a disappointing showing.